Hello guys, I'm Abdul and in this video I'm going to tell you about data types and typecasting in Python. Now in the first video of this course we discussed about a few data types. There was float, integer, string, boolean and many more. In this video we will also be discussing about typecasting. What is typecasting, what are its advantages and how to use it in our code. So without any further ado, let's get started. Now first of all, what are data types? Data types are different types of data as the name describes it. There are many data types, like there is string. I will first create a multi-line comment. Over here I will type string. There is first is string, second is numeric, third is sequence. There are many more. There is also bytes. Okay, we will also discuss about bytes in this video. In this video I will be focusing about on these three only because these are important. About sequence and other data types we'll discuss about them along the course, as we'll be using them, so we don't need to make a separate video for them. So the main are these three. Now string, it's for text data type, text. When we type some text in Python, like if I type a print statement, or first of all I will make a variable x equal to, here I can give different data types, like I can type here my name, I will print it, okay, and if I save it I will open my command prompt. I will just zoom in a little bit. Here I will go to the same directory where my Python files are located, pytut 4.py. Over here you can see that my name has been printed. Now we will be printing two things over here. One is the value and the second is the type of the value. Let's save this and run the file again. We get what? First of all my name is printed, then the type. Now what are classes? We will discuss about them. You don't have to worry about them right now, but the main thing over here is str. Now what is str? Str is string. Okay, str is string. Now to create a string in Python you can either use single quotes or double quotes. It doesn't matter. Python allows you to create strings with both. We didn't got any error. So now the next data type is numeric. Numeric data types are many, like there is first of all integer. I can type here 100, save it, run it. When I type over here 100, it gives me the value 100 printed. So the next thing it gives me is the type, which is integer. Now this 100 is integer, but if I type over here 0.0, then it will become a decimal number, which means that it will become a float. I will just clear the screen. Okay, I will erase this. Now about bytes. Bytes are mainly computer. You can use these data types in machine learning. If I type over here bytes, let's say 5, let's save this, run the file. You see that it gave me some different type of thing like b, then single quote, then /x000. It's random, okay. It's computer language, okay. Bytes 0 1 like this. If I type over here 100, it would give me the same value printed 100 times. So over here you can see no change. Now there is one more thing, that is byte array, and if I give it a value of, let's say 9, let's save this, run the file, it gave me a byte array, okay. This is an array. So these were byte array and bytes. There is one more value, that is memory view. Guys, 1 minute, I forgot to tell you that there is one more thing that you can do with bytes. Byte array is that type over here bytes, then just save the file and run it. You'd see that it's the same value, okay. I will type here memory view, okay. Now if I give it 9 and save this, run the file, it gave me an error, a bytes like object is required, not int. Okay, we need to pass here the value, we need to convert it into bytes, okay. Just convert this 9 into bytes and run it. You'd see that it gave me memory at 0x0000 like this, 1948D387280. It's a memory view, okay. So these were three types of data types. String was there, numeric, we talked about float, integer, and bytes were there. In bytes, what we talked about was, first of all, bytes, then byte array, then memory view, okay. Over here it's bytes, but here you, in this function, you got to use byte, okay. So these were different data types in Python. Now what is typecasting? Actually, while practicing these data types, we also took a little bit knowledge of typecasting as well. I'll just remove this all, save the file. Over here, first of all, I will create a variable a and give it a value of 10. I will print two things, a, and then I will print type of a, okay. If I save it and run it, you'd see that I get 10 and an integer int, okay. Now what if I want the value 10, but I don't want it to be an integer, I want it as a float or as a string. What I can do over here is that I can just type over here like a equal to 10, but not 10, just for float I can type here float, and inside the brackets I will type 10, or you can give the value of a only, okay. Let's save that, run the file. You'd see that it gave me 10.0, because I told you that float is a decimal number. It won't give you an integer value, it will give you a decimal value. Now what if I wanted to convert this float number that I just converted into a string? Okay, first of all I will just copy this, paste it over here first of all, then I will just copy this, paste it here. Instead of float I can type over here str, string, and then if I save it, run the file. Or here we need something, I will just put it over here. Okay, now you've got to make sure that your mind is here only. Now first we created the variable a and gave it a value of 10. We printed a, which we got here as 10. Then we printed the type of a, which was integer. Okay, now the next thing is that we modified the same variable, which was a, and modified its value as a float, converted it from an integer to a float. Okay, then we printed a value, we got 10.0. remember everything over here, that it's not 10, it's 10.0. okay, and then class is float. Now after that we modified a again and converted its value to a string. Over here we printed it and we got the value as a string. Now why do we need these conversions? I will just, sorry, over here if I type like a value b, my age is, for example, I will just type this. Okay, and if I type over here b plus a, I will just copy these two lines. Now we haven't talked about string concatenating, that I will make a separate video after this, but for now just understand this, that we are trying to connect this 10 with this string. Okay, we want it to be like 10, my age is 10, but instead we are giving it this value. Okay, just okay. Now if I save it and run it, you would see that I will get errors, like many errors. Okay, first of all, what error I got is that type error, can only concatenate str, not integer. Now what it means is that the value that we are trying to concatenate with string is an integer and it cannot be done. Okay, we cannot concatenate a string with an integer. I will create a comment here. We cannot concatenate a string with an integer. It is not possible. It's false. Okay, and if I just remove these two, now if I just make a string of those and if I run the file, I will get an error again. This time name error, name a is not defined. Okay, now there is this, we don't have to convert it into a comment. Just I will run the file again. Again we got a type error, can only concatenate str, not float. Okay, not float to str. Okay, that means I'll just copy this. We cannot also concatenate a float with an string. Okay, it's also false. Okay, now if I remove this, save this and run the file again, this time I won't get any errors. It gave me my age is 10. Why it did so? Because first of all, I will show you that over here we were getting type error and it was clearly telling us that it can only concatenate string, not float. It can only concatenate string to string, and over here we converted our a value to an string with the str function. Okay, so it was able to concatenate this string my age is to stra to a. Okay, so it was able to join both the values because both were of the same types. So this was typecasting and data types in Python. If you like this video, please subscribe my channel and turn on the notification bell so you can get the latest updates of my new videos.